How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another How to Beat. I saw your comments. People were asking for Mannadium, so here's Mannadium. Let's beat Mannadium at their own game. If you don't know, Mannadium is it's kind of like an up-and-coming deck. It can end on extremely good boards, but it's kind of weak to interruption. Specifically like removal and stuff like that, because it needs to remove as well. So this deck, they make me go first. So that's interesting. They do have a droll. Now, usually this deck doesn't lose to droll that much, but in this variant, you could lose to droll really easily because you play things like Edgem, Desires, Allure of Darkness, stuff like that. So you need to make sure, in order to not lose to droll, if you have a way, your first search should always be to search Branded Fusion with either Aluber or whatever. Because after that, you don't really need to add cards in hand. You can add stuff from the graveyard, you can, set cards from the deck. But the only important thing is, here specifically, I already have Branded Fusion in hand. It doesn't matter, I want more starters, so I'm going for the Pot of Desires. But usually your first search should be Branded Fusion. Now, we get Cartesia, which is okay here. Droll, Branded Fusion, thank God there's no Ash. They make me go second, so I'm like, should probably go for Dragoon. I don't know. I have some sort of feeling here that I should go for Dragoon. So I do go for that. I cannot add with Edgem Chain here. And Dragoon, Cartesia, I do want to make this live. This is why I went for this line, to have the Albaz in the graveyard. Fuse away with this. Go for Albion. Make Granguignol. Send Lubellion. Get this. This is a pretty solid board here. Regained. Since they made me go first here, it triggers some alarms in your head immediately. Like what should you play against? So here I'm playing against things like evenly matched. I have the Dragoon to negate, stuff like that. Regain, so I can draw cards because I didn't actually get to draw cards during my turn or add cards. And I have a Magnemite in hand, which is always good. Salt Synchron. Get this, Quem to the graveyard. Get Cartesia, Branded Regained here to bring back the Granguignol and draw card. Really good. Obsession. Destroy the Assault Synchron, get the Field Spell. Field Spell grabs Meek. Normal summon, Rheum Heart to target to destroy, and then basically, you should definitely Dragoon here. Discard, destroy. Visas to pop. This is really, really good for them because they're going to get to get 3 monsters on the board after that. So Meek summons, and the Field Spell summons another one. Meek is level 4, but they only have tuners here. So just so remember that it's all tuners. They need something else. So I let them go to battle. They go for try. Reichphobia. Here, notice that there's the new Vicious Astrolaud fusion. It requires you to banish Visas plus 1 monster with 1500 attack and 2100 defense. So immediately here, this is a huge red flag. Magnemite on the Visas, so they don't have that live. They could add a Visas here, but they already used the effect to summon it. They go for Rykard. Now, in this scenario, they already normal summoned. I did not know about the last card in hand, unfortunately. But this deck, how it works is that they already normal summoned. Rykard needs the special summon to an adjacent zone or a zone under a Scareclaw monster. So if you get rid of this, and they don't have any way to extend, like if this was a hand trap or something like that, or another Rheum Heart, they don't have a way to summon it. So I do go for a pretty expensive, resource-heavy Chimera here. I do want to pop the Field Spell, because the Field Spell can pop any monster on the field if there are 3 or more defense positions monsters on the field, and then Chimera to get rid of this. So I pop 2, Field Spell, and this. Now, they need a way to special summon, obviously here. I draw a Tragedy. They have Arrival. I could not play around this. Thankfully, though, they did not. I was like, they're going to go for a Try Hard. I'm dead. I thought they were locked. They get the Spatter. We are already in main 2. Summon this back. Make Cross Ship. Make the Astrolaud. Now, we're going to rewind this back in a minute because Chimera cannot be targeted because I have Poly in the graveyard. So we're going to run this back in the end phase. We have Dragoon here. That they try to go for an Underworld Goddess. We rewind this back since, it kind of changes things when they can't target the Chimera. So now they make a Chisao. They make Access Code because they want to banish the Dragoon here. Now they pop this. This was banished. They can banish the Dragoon right now because Dragoon already used its effect, and this does not target. This is exactly like Mirror Jade. And they get rid of my follow-up as well with Cartesia. So I'm left with a Chimera here. Search Albion and draw. This is really good. Now they have basically what we need to do in order to break this board is bait out the Dispatter. Basically, that's it, right? This banishes. It's not a strong interruption against Branded. So let's try to out this. We try to dig for more cards. This can grab us Branded Fusion back to hand, which is really good. Kit is also pretty solid. I can't activate Kit here because I do have an Albaz monster in the graveyard. Also in the graveyard, just so you know. They're also tripping about it. Summon this, and I try to get Brandon Red here. I need to put back a card, which I do. Bring back Regained. Luber baits out the Dispatter, which is very good for us. Now, they shuffle back my Albaz, which is also good. I try to go for Regained. Then I understand I'm not going to have enough cards in hand. So right now, what I'm trying to do here is get an Albaz on board. So, yeah. So I can get a fusion. Albaz fuses with Dispatter here. And it's going to be game from here, basically. Yeah. So, we opened the best card against this deck, which is Troll and Lockbird. But they don't really play into it, funnily enough. They don't play into it, and they manage to get the full potential out of their board. Droll and Lockbird hits it. Good. They continue playing a lot here. Like, Droll and Lockbird is one of the strongest cards against their deck. But we do manage to open Dark Ruler no more, which is good. Dispatter, they make a pretty solid board. They can still summon the Astral out here if they wanted to. Appaloosa, yeah, but unfortunately we opened the, Dark Ruler no more. Branded opening, Chain Block for some reason. We kind of need to. Guiding Queen of the Virtuous. Yep. Branded Fusion. Albion sends deployment. I can get a free Mirror Jade here. And then they don't have Ash Blossom. So it's basically GG's from here on out. I think Mannadium is a very, very good deck. This matchup wasn't super interesting. I think game one, especially making me go first, managing their interruptions, they can put up like Mannadium. It's a synchro. Like, they basically fired out synchros to the field, honestly. So they do play the Stardust here to make things a little bit harder with the synchros. It does make synchro unaffected for the rest of the turn, which could come in useful. But usually, when this deck goes off, it ends on a Baron, it ends on a Dispatter, it ends on a Chaos Angel, and a Cheng Ying most of the time, which is not super easy to play around. A good player will know to grab the Mannadium Reframing to make sure it's an Omni Negate. Mannadium Reframing is a counter trap. If you control a Synchro monster, Omni Negate. Why doesn't Branded has the same card for fusions? I never understood, but they could play around Dark Ruler here. Dark Ruler isn't a death sentence, but when they play it like this, it is a bit harder for them to play against cards like Dark Ruler. So hopefully this teaches you a little bit about Mannadium. It wasn't really a super intricate matchup, but making me go first and, breaking their board with Dark Ruler, obviously, but comboing to make sure there's an OTK. Yeah, I hope this did help you a little bit. Leave a comment down below. What do you think? What are the next matchups you want to see? Leave a thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.